How's everybody doing this evening? Let's see. KB said first, Marcus is second, Baracho, what's up, Eric? It's like third, Kirk is like, hey yo, what's up, barbecue fam? Baracho says, Eric's has been a long time since I made it on here. Hell yeah, man, definitely. Definitely appreciate you stopping in and popping by. For sure. Give me a second. Let me get the live stream pulled up on my laptop here. How's everybody doing this evening? Hopefully everybody is doing well. All right, look at that. The live stream has in fact started. Let me pull it up. Hey, if you haven't already hit that thumbs up button for me, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button for me. It makes me feel better about doing these live streams, and it also helps these videos as well as my channel. So if you could give me a thumbs up, please and thank you. KB says welcome back. Captain Newbie, how you doing this evening? Jimmy says what's up? All right, so I told myself that I was going to continue on my fast, and I was going to drink black coffee and water. And then you know what I did? I put in a cup some rice pudding. My wife made some rice pudding the other day. Yeah. I'll be talking to you guys for 2 hours. 2 MG Smokers Gonzalez. What's going on? Mike, how you doing this evening? He says, hey, Dash. Well, hey yourself. But since I've been fasting, I've been drinking. You guys can't see. Nope. Can't. Can you see it? Black coffee. Since, you're normally in the morning. JG says, what's up? Nanos says, hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Nanos, yes, indeed, it has been a while. Victor says, at Home Depot getting propane, getting ready for a snowstorm tomorrow night. Well, it is currently snowing here. I'm going to say tomorrow night. It is actually supposed to snow for like the next 2 or 3 days. Pretty much straight. Mr. Fishy Isaac, what's going on? Marcus says he's awake. For how long, Marcus? For how long? What's the over-under? And Marcus is going to put himself to sleep in a couple minutes. Veterans Barbecue, hello, sir. How are you doing this evening? Ever since I got roasted about the steak and ketchup joke. Man, that wasn't, well, he it was one of those things where, after folks start roasting you, that's when you're like, it was a joke. I was just kidding. It was a joke. I don't really eat my steaks that way. Yeah. Man. Rice pudding. So I'm kind of bummed at the lack of, or the length of time that packages have been taking to come through the mail. I know for sure Laura sent me a package. Laura, who is, oh man, why can't I think of her channel name? Oh gosh, I know it when I see it. Of course, Laura said she sent us something, and then Uncle Steve said he sent me something. And one of those things he sent me was his new dessert shake. And I was so looking forward to being able to put something on this rice pudding. I've been kind of saving this rice pudding so that I could eat some with the dessert shake, but it has not come to the P.O. Box just yet. And actually, I did not get to check it today. I normally, as a rule, make sure that I check the P.O. Box at least every Wednesday, but I'm normally there like 2-3 times a week. And today I was busy and had some errands to run and did not get back up to the house close enough to go to the P.O. Box before they closed at 5 o'clock. So I did not get to go today, but I'm looking forward to hopefully trying the smoke bomb and the dessert shake as soon as I can. Deshaun's Barbecue, what's up? You won't koozie that coffee? Nah, I will not, Kirk. It is black, and I don't know if you can I can see it steaming, but it's not coming off in video. Let me try to. There. Oh look, wait. There's some black behind it up there. You can see it steaming. Am I the only one that when I drink something hot, I have to drink something cold as well? Justin from Papa Bear's Kitchen. He says, "Dash, what's up? Catering event turned out well last week. That's what's up, Mr. Fishy Isaac. Congratulations." Kirk says, "Y'all keep that snow up there, man. We don't want it." Yeah. Papa Bear says, "It's freezing in LA. It's like 60 degrees, bruh." Man, I had on just this hoodie and was out cooking on the. I cooked on the Blackstone, the griddle, the tabletop griddle today, and it was actually starting to flurry. It was starting to snow, so it was like 32 degrees, 32, 33 degrees outside at the time when I made burgers for dinner. So 60, man, that's nothing. I need to break down my pop-up shelter for my barbecue area. This is not fun. Marcus says 60. Shoot, it's like been in the 80s in Austin this week. All right, Nano, that's what's up. KB said, "I sent you a big box of cash. Did you get it?" He said, "Dang FedEx." Well, because it's the P.O. box, I don't think FedEx delivers the P.O. boxes, but no, I did not. So if you need to send me a big box of cash, I will give you my home address for that one. Like, yeah. JG says, "Dessert shake? What's that?" Well, there's a new shake that Uncle Steve has, and it's a dessert shake. I have not had it just yet, but I'm looking forward to trying it. I'm going to counteract this rice pudding that I shouldn't be having. Oh, goodness gracious. Justin says, in defense of the post office, as he stands on his soapbox, he says, "In defense of the post office, I am a letter carrier. Half of the staff is out with COVID or COVID-related issues." There's a bigger problem in the post office right now, but that is at least some of the or something that can be go to help explain what the problems or what some of the problems are. Papa Larry, what's going on, man? He says, "Papa Larry's barbecue. Good evening, Dash." He says, "Good evening to you too." Chris from Bottle Cap Barbecue, he says, "What's up?" What's going on? Lou, we got Lou Calamadas, excuse me. What's up, Dash? How you doing this fine evening? I am much better now that I see that you are here, sir. DJ Tino Dollar says, "Man, it's ice cream storm here in Kentucky. Just put up the smoker." Shoot. Michael Kano says, "How's it going?" Going just fine. You know what, Lou? I actually watched zero of the Super Bowl. I watched. I didn't even watch any. Maybe, only because I saw a something on Alexa, and it said, "Alexa, show me your newest commercial." Anyway, what it was like, ask Alexa to see her Super Bowl commercial or something like that, and that was the only Super Bowl commercial I watched. Yeah. Mike said I couldn't use my smoker due to it being -10. Man, where there's a grill, there's a way. Brian says, "What's up, Papa Bear's Catering out of North Carolina?" Brian, I cooked last weekend. It was -5. Barbecue goes on all year, no matter the temp. I'll take a spoonful of my wife's rice pudding of that. Sure enough. brought us to the Super Bowl. I love living in KC while being a Raiders fan right now. Facebook full of excuses. Dude, I mean, man. Look, I was rooting for Kansas City. One, because I'm not a Tom Brady fan. Two, because Andy Reid. And three, because I really didn't want to see Brady win again. But anyway, all right, so I think I'm about caught up with the hellos and how you doing. Mr. Fishy Isaac says 61 in Atlanta. 61, man, that's still warm. That's still t-shirt weather. Sure, especially if you've been if you have been or are standing close to a cooker that's warm. DJ Tino says, Dash, I've been watching your stuff for a while now. Really appreciate the content. Now I own homegrown barbecue and catering. Well, that's what's up. Where there's a grill, there's a way, man. I've been saying that for years. Look, there was one time when I strapped I have a tow hitch on the back of my car. I strapped a basket on the car and a grill on the basket, like one of those cargo baskets. And I drove to my destination with the grill on the basket on the back of my car. And I actually think it was on the back of my Jetta, which meant it was the lowered car. It wasn't even the Passat, which was, normal height. It was the lowered Jetta. So, yeah. Mike said, wife told me to stay in. Got a listener or a lumpy couch. Well, I understand. Brian says, Dash, thanks for all the info. Because of your help, I started Papa Bear's Catering here in North Carolina. That's what's up. Congratulations. Chef Earl, he says, get the thumbs up. Or else. Yeah. Or else. I added the or else. But you guys get the picture. So if you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up button for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. Eric says, I haven't had time to really cook with the baby, but spring is on the horizon. Yes, indeed. I completely understand, that whole newborn sleep versus cooking or sleep versus getting something quick or anything with a newborn. For real. So, congratulations, though. Definitely, cherish those moments. How about that? All right. So, look, let's get into it tonight. What we are talking about is catering startup costs. So, I had somebody send me an email the other day, and he asked me, he's like, how much did it cost you to get started? And I was like, I can't tell you that because I didn't get started the same way a lot of other people get started. Now, in this room or on the live stream, I know that I can pick on certain people who have had startup costs that are greater than me. I'm not going to single anybody out. I'm not going to call on anybody or voluntold anybody or pick on anybody, basically. But I want you to understand that everybody's catering journey, everybody's barbecue journey, everybody's the jump off point is going to be different. There is no one specific set plan. You might be able to parlay your personal smokers and cookers into a business. You might, fall into somebody, unfortunate as it may be, maybe somebody passes away and you just so happen a brick and mortar or a smoker or something falls into your lap. Actually, I have a buddy who inherited a Yoder smoker, like a nice Yoder smoker from a divorce fire sale. The wife was scorned, and she was scorned so badly she basically gave him this multi-$1,000 smoker for pennies on the dollar, if there was any money exchanged at all. So how you come about your cookers, how you come about your smokers, how you come about your grills is going to be a it's going to be a unique thing to you and your story or your, your journey. Let's put it that way. Let's see. Mr. Fishy Isaac says 30 watching, 13 thumbs up. The math does not match up. Yeah. Agreed. B Feline Maximus says, how did you choose a caterer if there are several in your area? I would try and say that you could try to go off of recommendations, or you could see if one of them will cook for you and you could try their food. Though I can tell you from experience, it's gonna be rather difficult to try to get a caterer to sometimes cook for you, especially nowadays when business is low. I'm only going to cook for you, or as opposed to having them like sample, place very small orders with each of them, and then you can try their food without putting them out, and they'll still be making some money, so they'll be willing to do it. They'll be wanting to do it. If someone says, hey, unfortunately, this is too small of an order, or this is something I can't do for you, then you might just have to exclude them, because they're not willing to earn your business. But there's some places where, really, taste test number one. Sorry. There's some places where sometimes it's just not fiscally, possible for them to do like a sampler or like a small, event type thing. I don't know how else to put it. FCB says, evening dash in chat. B Feline Maximus. B says, awesome idea, thank you. Yeah, because I've been on both sides of this of that type thing. I'm just gonna call you B, all right? I've been on both sides of that coin, or both sides of the sword. I've been on the side of, hey, I'm thinking about having you cater an event for me. Can I sample food? I can't really give you a sample because it's going to cost me money. And it's going to cost me not only money, but time. And then if you say, oh, we're going in a different direction, you've wasted my time and my money. But if you actually go to them and say, I'd like to place a small order to taste your food before an event that I'm trying to select a caterer for, I'm telling you, they'd be more willing to do it. And if people would have approached me with that same that same energy, the same, approach, I would have been way more willing to do things for certain people. It's just when someone approaches you and they're like, can you give me something for free so I can try your food? I can't afford to give you something for free. And that is what it boils down to. But you can't always, some people you can tell that to and they'll understand. Other people just don't get it. Eric says, big difference in cooking hot dogs and hamburgers for the office or full-on barbecue for a wedding. Starting is just doing what you can and growing as you go. Can we get a round of applause for Eric down in the chat? Because that's exactly it. You have to start where you start. You start from what you have and you get to where you're going from where you've been. Point blank, because I know that I did not think that I would be in this as deep as I am 4 years ago. 6 years ago. It's 27 years ago. Hell, it's 2021. DJ Tino says, got a new trailer on a beautiful discount. Dude didn't want to deal with the cleaning it up. Nice. Rodney says, your thought on the Dynaglow vertical smoker. So, I think that Dynaglow vertical smoker is better suited for home use as opposed to more of a catering or commercial use. You're limited in capacity in that smoker, and you're going to be fighting with it because it is not insulated. Excuse me. It's not insulated, which means you're going to have to work at it a little harder. Now, is that necessarily a bad thing? No, because what's going to end up happening is your struggle, your fight for you to overcome the adversities of using that cooker will make you a better cooker, a better cook. Brian says slab of spares. What about it? Chris says, for catering, do you have a minimum size order? Sorry if you answered already, had a call. No. So what I try to do, Chris, it is Chris, right? Bottle cap. It just just refresh my memory if it's not Chris. But I think it's Chris. So what I do is I have a 3 pound minimum order. All right. And what that 3 pound minimum does is it allow for brisket, pulled pork, and chicken. That allows me to cover my costs. And as long as I can cover my costs, I'll get rid of the rest of the meat. I'll either put some of it away so I can freeze it and cook it later. I will, have some extra for my family to eat. Or if I'm feeling motivated, I'll post it to Instagram. Or I've gotten to the point where I have a network. I have a couple, people who are like, if ever you have this, call me and I'm on my way to your house, or you can bring it past my house and I'll buy it every time. So those are the folks that I reach out to whenever I have extras or from orders. But like I said, I need that at least 3 pound commitment to cover my costs. And as long as my costs are covered, I'll cook. With wings, unfortunately, it's one of those things where I'm not going to. I'm really not going to start at the smoker and cook just 10 wings. If somebody orders 10 wings, then the minimum order is going to be 20. All right, at least. And for ribs, I buy the ribs, baby back ribs, in packs of 3. So I tell them there's a minimum of 2 racks for the order, and it usually works out because, like I said, if I'm buying a pack of 3 and I'm cooking 2, it depends on what I'm doing. But I know in my freezer for sure. My wife actually got on me today because she was cleaning up the freezers, and she's like, "You have too many odd racks of ribs sitting in the freezer," and I'm like, "I know." And she's like, "You need to get rid of them and cook them." And I'm like, "Well, I kind of put them in the freezer for us, and I just haven't been cooking and other things like that." So, it's one of those things. Same thing with pork shoulder. Actually, this weekend I had an order. It was for a whole brisket, a salmon fillet, 5 pounds of pork shoulder, 4 racks of ribs. So when I have 4 racks of ribs, I gotta buy 6, and then I have some left over. So I had 4 racks of ribs, and luckily I had another customer call me up. She wanted ribs, so I sold 5 racks of ribs. And he wanted also 10 wings. So now how this breaks down: a whole brisket, boom, whole brisket. Salmon fillet, whole salmon fillet, not a problem. Pork shoulder, 5 pounds of pork shoulder means I need to cook a 10 pound piece, right? I can't really get a 10 pound piece. I have to buy 20 pounds, okay, or usually more than 17, 18 pounds, usually between 18 and 20 pounds. So when I get the 2 pieces in the unit pack, I put one aside and I'll freeze it, and the other is what I cooked. So I cooked half a pack of pork shoulder. The chicken wings, I just cooked all. Ended up being 18 wings in the pack, and then I gave the guy 12. And the guy he might be here, Mr. Richard. If you're here, what's up? I gave him 12 wings, just kind of as a thank you. I won't say I tried to, but when or if I can, I put in extra ribs, and I think that was it. Oh, and the ribs. So he wanted 4 racks of ribs. Well, they come in packs of 3, so I had to buy 6. Now I could have bought 3 and then found a rack of ribs in the freezer and thawed it out, and he'd have been none the wiser, or anybody for that matter that I cook. But I'm like, if I'm gonna buy ribs, I'm gonna buy ribs. So that's what ends up happening. I usually just buy them. Then I had the other person who hit me up and said, "Hey, would you happen to be doing ribs anytime soon?" And I'm like, "Just so happens I am." So the last rack of ribs from that pack, I put them aside. I put them in the freezer. This weekend, I actually have 2 things. I have a whole brisket going out on Friday, and I have a 3 pound order. Again, she hit my minimum, and a 2 rack order for Sunday for Valentine's Day. This girl hit me up and she's like, I wanted to do something for my husband. I'm like, sure. So I'll have an extra rack of ribs left over that I can sell if I cook it, and or more of that brisket. And I had someone else hit me up and he's like, hey man, would you happen to be cooking any brisket this weekend? I'm like, just so happens I am. So that's what ends up happening. I get the ball rolling, and usually when I have a piece of a cook being started, other people kind of hit me up and ask me, hey, do I have anything going on, or am I cooking? Brian says, what do you charge for brisket and pork? All of those things. I mean, we can kind of talk about that in the second hour, dollars and cents. Rodney says, thanks, I'm just starting out, no problem. All right, I thought it was Chris. Thank you, man, for the confirmation. Every now and again, my mind plays tricks on me. Brian, I don't actually do spares. Mike says my job keeps asking me to cook for him. Well, cook for him, Mike. Just don't do it for free. Just tell him, hey, you know, I need you to cover the cost of the meat and the cost of my charcoal. Thanks, Kurt. Eric says, in a sample problem is have business cards in any event you do because they are already trying your food. And remember, for you, if they're having an and blah. So Eric from Baracho Barbecue says, and the sample problem is have business cards at any event that you do because they are already trying your food and remember you for it if they're having an event themselves. Perfect example, I did a wedding earlier this year, or early last year, was like early September, and the couple, I've known them for a long time. I actually did a video there at that event. And someone approached me at the event, and he's like, "Oh, you know, I'm gonna be having a party at my house, blah blah blah." And I'm thinking, okay, whatever. But he did actually have an event at his house, and he hit me up, and I catered that event for him and his wife. And definitely that was it. And that's how I get a lot of my business. From one event, I might have a follow-on event and another follow-on event. And I tell you what, man, people will. The food was good, and your customer service is good. People will remember you, and they years and years and years later. I mean, I've had people call me up and they say, "Hey, you catered this event in the middle of a park. Oh, that graduation party for the kid who was in 8th grade." I'm like, "Yeah, AJ, I remember that." They're like, "Wow, you remember?" Oh yeah. I've done my fair share of events and other things like that, but lots of people, if you can tell me how or what or who I did this thing for, chances are I can remember who and what I did. Sean says, what up? DJ Tino says, when you started up, did you see more love from people that knew you or strangers? Well, it was kind of a mixed bag, DJ Tino, because I would, my friends were very, very supportive. And they understood that I was trying to grow a business. So they I won't say threw money at me, but they were supportive also because I was using them as my guinea pigs. I would, my friends and my coworkers, hey, yo, try this. Hey, try this. See what you think. Tell me what you think of this. So yes, but I've also had some of my best friends who have never purchased anything from me, but they will make sure to be at an event that I'm catering. If you get my drift. Okay. But yeah, I mean, Gabriel, what's up, vato? Nada conmigo. ¿Qué pasó contigo? Crimson Creek says, why only baby backs? Because baby backs are smaller, and I could cook the same amount of ribs. Yeah, I can cook 3 racks of baby backs and make more money than I can when I cook 2 racks of spares. And the whole thing is, remember, I started cooking on a steel drum, okay? If I were cooking spares on a steel drum, I could fit 2 racks in the drum when I was cooking. So the whole thing was, it was a space thing, so I would be able to put 3 racks on a grate in the steel drum. And if I was cooking 2 different things, I could actually fit 6 racks on one cook versus me cooking 2 racks of spares. So theoretically, I can make $150 versus me making, I don't know what I would charge for a rack of spares, $35, $40. So, 75, $80, all right, versus 150. So it was a space thing. Justin says, what are your methods for keeping track of your orders and figuring out your profit loss? You using some kind of business software or Excel, Access, or paper and pen? For the most part, Justin, paper and pen. One of the things that's really good is I try to get a lot of folks' orders in writing. So, hold on one second. The lens, it seemed blurry to me. Whenever somebody calls me, I always ask them to text me. Hey, can you text me? Because I'm like, oh, I'm driving right now. And most of the time, and Marcus can attest, I drive a lot. And I feel like I'm always on the road. And I'm always heading somewhere, coming back from somewhere, running some errands or something. So a lot of times what I end up doing is I say, hey, I'm not in a position to jot down your order right now. Can you send me a text message with your name, your address, your email address, and then that you want this, and I will take care of the rest. And then what I end up doing is I use that information so that I don't forget what exactly who needs what, right? Now, right now, I'm not getting that many orders. So like the guy who hit me up the other day, he hit me up, it was Monday, and he was like, "Oh man, as soon as I get off the phone, I'm gonna text you." I said, man, I'm in the middle of something right now. I can't actually jot down your order, but I mean, I know the guy. The guy's name is Van, right? Van is a barber. I'm like, yo, all right, Van, no problem, I got you. So I said, Van, do me a favor, text me that you need a brisket this weekend or some brisket this weekend, and I'll get back to you and we'll work the rest out. He's like, all right, cool. So he didn't. He actually texted me this morning. So 2 days later, and I had already put him on my radar. Hey, yo, so when I cook the food for the girl on Morgan on Sunday, the brisket, I need to get a little bit bigger brisket so that I can put some brisket aside for Van so he can have. But that's my thought. I just, I kind of run through my head and think about it. Does it always work? No. Does sometimes is it okay? Yes. I mean, you guys have heard my story about how I forgot the turkey for Thanksgiving for the girl, and look, that is my horror story. That is the worst horror story I have, and if I can tell you anything, it's just that. Now, one of the other things, Justin, how I try and justify or keep track of my profit and loss. I run a lot of my business through PayPal, right? I send out PayPal invoices and I use the PayPal debit card to make purchases. So if there's money in my PayPal account, there's a little bit of profit. If there's money getting low on the PayPal account, I need to send out some more invoices in order to put some money back into that account. For the most part, people are paying me via PayPal and or like CashApp. And I find, or I try, if someone pays me from Cash App and it goes directly into my, checking account or whatever, I put that money directly onto a credit card that sometimes I use to make purchases, the float to make purchases. But I mean, it's not like I'm sitting here spending thousands and thousands of dollars on X, Y, and Z. And whenever I have a big purchase, whenever there is a big event, I use those funds to make big purchase. Like me recuperating and purchasing pans and sauces and spices and things like that. They usually happen after I've had a big event. Kirk says there's a bunch of y'all on that got so excited to be on. You forgot to smash that thumbs up button. It's easy. Give it a try. Thank you very much, Kirk, man. You guys are the best. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. Kirk says, oh, taste test coworkers regularly. What's going on, man? How you doing? He had no spare room for spares. Boom. I wish I could do sound effects, Kirk. That was right on time, brother. Eric says my close friends get the notification and the smoker is that the smoker is rolling, and just pay me a small amount for the rubs and sauces if I'm already cooking. But if they help me help get me business, so I hook them up. That's what's up. What's up, Jeff, the Northeast Beast? He says, "Hey, yo, Dash, how you doing this evening, Jeff?" Yo, Jeff, I saw that sandwich you made. I was just like, I saw it on Instagram, and I was just like, man, that looks pretty good. Sorry, again with me drinking hot coffee. I gotta drink some cold. I have some ice water here. Yes, I'm using the Bushi ice. Uh, Mike says, what do you think about a rib rack in the small smoker? So, I mean, rib racks are fine. I found that I used the rib rack a couple times. I found that the ribs were distorted. Like, if the ribs weren't sitting completely perpendicular to, to the ground, they would be like curved in this way, or like, I don't know. It just, maybe it was my drum, or maybe it was but they just did not, they weren't the same. I actually prefer to lay ribs out, and lay them out and let gravity help the cook. Cypress Blue, Miss Laura. I was talking about you earlier. I was saying about how, Laura, I couldn't remember the name of your channel, and I was saying about how slow the mail is, and how I still have not gotten the package that you sent. So I was apologizing because I actually did not get a chance to go to the post office today to check. But I had been, I went on Friday, I went on Saturday, I went on Monday. I did go yesterday, and I didn't get a chance to go today. Mr. Richard, I was talking about you earlier today too. I was talking about the order from this past weekend. It was Mr. Richard who placed the order, and I'll be completely honest. I still worry every single time I cook for somebody. There are times when I can be a little heavy-handed with the seasonings. There are times when the cooks don't go 100%, and I still worry, right? Mr. Richard called me not too long after I dropped off his food, and I'm like, and he told me, he said, Mr. Scott, my family love the food. It's always so delicious. And I'm like, whew. that made me feel really good, Mr. Richards. Thank you so very much. Eric says, no sound effects like that. Yep. Jamie says, just reporting that he remains awake. All right, Jamie. It has been 38 minutes, and he's still awake. Marcus is still awake. That is a feat. What is that there? Okay. Thank you. Don't have my glasses on. Candace Brown says, do you know someone in Maryland that builds smokers? I do and I don't, Candace. Like, I know there's a guy. Oh, man, I am completely drawing a blank. He's in like Southern Maryland, and he makes smokers, but I cannot for the life of me remember his Instagram name. Do me a favor, and Candace, if you haven't or don't already, can you send me send me a direct message on Instagram, and then what I will do is I will find him and send you his information. Please and thank you. Chris says no taste test the kitchen tonight. So Chris, you haven't been here probably since the summer. We have, hold on, let me try and release the. So taste tester number 1 is in the kitchen. No white lightning today. That is, I'm drinking coffee, black coffee, and I have water, and I actually have a little bit of this is rice pudding. My wife made some rice pudding the other day, and I'm supposed to be fasting, but I'm gonna eat the rice pudding. Damn it. Um. So taste tester number one is in the kitchen, but Chris, during the winter when there's school, my taste tester number two, he is not in bed, but he is in his room at this point, so he's not up as late. Mike says I did a stuffed pork one. That's what's up. I tell you, man, my wife and kids are not fans of pork loins. They're not. They're like, it's white meat. No problem, Candace. Kirk says I do this. I do. This guy dash spills barrels. I can't remember how to get in touch. Man. Unfortunately, the cost of metal has gone up so high that I I can't afford the. I don't even want to tell you. I'm making them. I used to make drums as well, but yeah. Rich Evans says, if you had one meat to barbecue for the rest of the year, what would be your go-to? I'm gonna say brisket. Um, I can I can cook brisket well, and I will, I can do a lot of things with brisket. So, and it doesn't just have to be like traditional brisket tacos, or man, you can make some mean chili, some spaghetti and meatballs. I actually was telling somebody today, I was telling the coworker, I made like one of those chicken and pasta frozen dinner things and threw in some brisket with that. Yo, it completely changed the taste of this pasta, and it was like a combination pasta and chicken, and the chicken still tastes like chicken, and it was like a Alfredo sauce in it or something, like a creamy white sauce, and the brisket just like brought everything else out in this. It was great. Also, I mean, cooking brisket, you can mix it in with like almost anything. Brisket and eggs is phenomenal. Baked be- baked beans, brisket beans. What? Yo, brisket. If I had one meat to cook for the rest of my days or the rest of the year, like if I had one meat to cook a year, this year I put a hurting on some brisket. Though I just realized brisket has gone up in price again for me locally. Mm-mm-mm. William Johnson says, "Good evening, everyone. Love y'all. Love your channel, Dash. Any info helps me a lot. I'm from Florence, South Carolina." Oh man, William, I think maybe we've talked about this, but there was a gentleman who also lived in Florence. His name is Phil. He was Phil in Florence, and we miss him because he passed away last year. I don't believe it was COVID related, but he passed away last year, and it was a huge loss to the barbecue community. He says, "I love being on the grill or smoker. I guess I'm addicted. Love the smell of the grill." Yeah, you know what? I say I am an arsonist who cooks. Rich says that sounds interesting. Yeah. Orlando says, "What's up, Dash? How you doing? Brisket ramen is my go-to." Yo, Kirk, brisket and oodles and noodles. And here's the secret, right? Don't use the pack of the whatever the seasoning pack that came in there. Put some Uncle Steve's original shake in there. Yo, I actually made some oodles and noodles, or the cup of noodles, or whatever the noodles are that come in the pack, and I make them for my kids for their lunch. And I don't use the seasoning pack that comes with them. I use Uncle Steve's shake, and they are great. I use Uncle Steve's original shake in oodles and noodles, and when I send them, with my kids for lunch, and man, they're delicious. Eric says, "Gotta run, baby is pissed," but it was good hanging out. Have a good one, everyone. Be safe and cook on. Yes, indeed, sir. Congratulations and best of luck to you. Mm. Man, man, man. Terry Robinson says, "To smoke meat and catering, checking in from Alabama. Love everything you do." Well, thank you so very much. I appreciate that. Orlando says, "Yep, a select brisket runs you about $30 in Texas." Man, shoot. Nah, they more than that now. Actually, I paid three. Oh shoot! I almost knocked over my rice pudding. Nope, that's not the right one. That's not the right one. Those are. Oh, here it is. I emptied. No, I think this is the one from last week. Yeah, I emptied the receipts I had. Yeah. So, brisket, a choice brisket. Now this was, mind you, this was on the 5th. So 5 days ago, so over the weekend, or before the weekend, brisket was $2.99. No, brisket. Where is it? Boneless brisket. Oh, brisket was $2.92 a pound. I paid I think it was $3.05 or $3.06, but it was more than $3 a pound I paid for it today, and it just bops up just unexpectedly. Oh man, Rich says brisket and eggs. That's a new one for me. What? Man, Jeff says brisket ramen is the bomb. Laura says one time I ordered this beef broccoli. It said beef brisket. It was awesome. Pricey for sure. Yeah. Orlando says a 12-pound select brisket. Well, that's about on par. Actually, a little bit higher. I'd like to try and buy 15-pound briskets, but I mean, still, if you're getting a 12-pound brisket for $30, you're averaging under $3 per pound at 12 pounds. I know for sure my briskets. Actually, this brisket that I got the other day. This is the brisket I cooked for Mr. Richard. This was a survey says it was almost a 14-pound, 14.79-pound brisket, and it was $43. That my cost. So yeah, and I mean, yeah, they're going up in price. I'm driving out to Texas and bring home brisket. No joke. Shoot, I understand, Chris. Man, I do that too. Jeff says those Packy chips are good. Yeah, sure. Mr. Photography says prime brisket is $39 in Kansas City. Well, I need to know how much it is per pound. All right, because that is what I can use to compare dollars, apples to apples, or dollars to donuts. Mike says the freezer bags you use to fill up with the meat could put that in the pot of boiling water. It's vacuum sealed. Yes, indeed, you can. I talked about that one night. Big Steve, who was outside of Chicago's, he ordered some brisket from me, and I sent it to him. And I asked him how he was gonna, I asked him how he reheated it. He said he took some water, put it in a pot, warmed it up, and he threw the bag right into the water, and the brisket, the juices from the brisket came on out, and it was nice and hydrated because it was still sealed in that bag, and man, he said it was good. Rich said he dropped $40 and didn't expect any change back. Yeah. Terry says, "Hey Dash, with the new guy getting in the game, what should I do and not do? Catering all around." All right, so Terry, what I'm going to ask you to do is stay tuned. I know I've been slacking, but I'm telling you guys, I needed a reset. I needed some time off from doing videos, man. The videos weren't fun. If that's, if you guys understand what I'm saying, it was like I would cook, and I would almost be forcing to cook, and I'm like, I wanted it to just be natural, like me enjoying my cook, right? Me cooking for a specific reason. But a lot of times, I tell you, when I was catering for someone, those cooks weren't forced. It was a lot of time, more often than not, the cook style was cooking for my family, because it was just like I just wanted to cook. I didn't want to have to put on a show and cook. If you understand what I'm saying. And I don't mind cooking for my family, and I definitely don't mind putting videos up for you guys. It's just I don't think I wanted to do both of those things at the same time, for a while. So I took some time off. It's been a good month and a half or so that I haven't actually made a cooking video, posted a cooking video. And there's a couple of you guys who have been like, "Yo, can you make a cooking video?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll get to it." I just needed a mental reset. So I apologize for those of you guys who were here for that, and obviously I'm not doing that. But I really do want to focus more on talking about and doing more videos about catering because there's a lot of folks out here who are getting into it. Justin says better brisket at Costco, Sam's, or Restaurant Depot. Justin, it's one of those things, man. The price at Sam's can be better. The selection at Sam's in my area leaves a lot to be desired. If I'm looking for I have a small cook, right? So I have a cook and person tells me, "Oh, I need 3 pounds of brisket." I'm not going to buy a 17-pound brisket to fill a 3 pound order. That's just not going to work. So what I'm going to try to do is find the smallest brisket I can. So I will try to find a 10, okay, or a 10 excuse me, 10-pound brisket is usually the smallest I'll try to get. Anything under 10 pounds, I actually cooked an 8-pound brisket about a week or two ago, about 2 weeks ago, and it was the smallest little thing. And by the time I trimmed the point, like I said, it was an 8-pound brisket, so I'm expecting a yield of 4 pounds of brisket, right? By the time I trimmed the brisket, it was so like miscut that the point was virtually non-existent on this brisket. It was almost all flat. And by the time I cooked it and cut it up and separated the point from the flat, there was literally no point. There was less than a pound of point and 3 pounds of flat. I cut the point off of this brisket. The guy who I was taking the food to, he prefers the flat over the point, the leaner portion. So I'm like, "Yo, here you go. Here's 3 pounds of lean brisket." And I kept the other pound of brisket. I actually cut it up pretty, for us. And I made breakfast with it. I made some grits, some eggs, brisket, and toast. And it was great. It was great. I actually took some pictures, and I will probably post the pictures on my Instagram. So just keep an eye out for that. Terry says, "Take your time, bruh, and break it down. I got a lot of time." Yeah. Brother Young says $2.26 a pound last time I was at Walmart. Now, Brother Young, where are you? So also, Justin, to kind of to bring this full circle about Restaurant Depot, Sam's, and Costco. From what I found at Costco has and sells more prime briskets. Again, the prime briskets at Costco are going to be bigger, 15 to 20 pounds. I don't always want to cook a brisket that big. Same thing at Sam's, a bigger briskets. Now, I can get choice briskets at Sam's, but the briskets at Sam's are going to be no less than 15, 16 pounds. Restaurant Depot, I can usually, because they have more of a selection, I can usually hunt around in the display case, and depending on what my needs are for the specific cook, I can typically get what I need. Now, sometimes that backfires because today I went in the case and there were a million. There was like 4 or 5 11-pounders, like 2 or 3 13-pounders, and there was 1 or 2 10-pounders in this case of about a dozen briskets. And there was one, I got the biggest brisket that was in the case, and it ended up being 14.5 pounds. That was it. So I'm going to, do a less aggressive job trimming it so that I can have, I'm looking for about 8 pounds of meat once I give it to, give it to the young lady who ordered a whole brisket. Now, on the converse of that, I was able to get a smaller brisket. I got an 11-pound brisket just because I like the way this one looked. And I have, like I said, I have orders for 5 pounds of brisket for Sunday. So, what's up, Jeff from Out of Order Barbecue? What's up with you? Darnell says, "What's up, good people?" Terry says, "I'm a veteran at 100%, so I got a lot of time to soak up all the game, and it's well appreciated." That's what's up. Da-da-da-da. So Chris says, when you sell brisket by the pound, do you give them the option for lean or wet, or just give them whatever looks good and fits the bin? No. So I usually split it up. Typically, I'll do like 60-40 lean to moist because of the ratio of what I have lean to moist. When you guys have seen me, and I actually did a video where I cut up, and I said I was cutting up the briskets and weighing it out for customers. So the whole thing is, I will slice the brisket up and then put it back into the pan, and then I will get like whatever container I'm going to put the food in to take it to them. Be it a half catering pan. I have some. I really don't want to get up, but I have some like of those plastic clamshell containers that I can put brisket in, as well as some of those like white styrofoam takeout containers. I have some of those as well, and then also the half catering pans and full catering pans. Typically, I'm putting food in a half catering pan. Most times, I try to get have orders of 3 pounds or more. If it's 3 pounds, all right, I know I can fit 3 pounds of brisket into a half catering pan. And what I'll do is I'll slice everything up. I'll put it into a full pan with the full pan that I cooked it in after I drain off the jus, and I'll cut everything up, slice everything up, and then put it back into the full catering pan. Right. I'll get my scale out, put the half pan on top of the scale, and I'll start picking out pieces. Now, I'll make sure it's nice and neat when I put those pieces into that pan, but I'll probably do a 60-40 split. So, of lean to moist. There are some people who ask for more moist. There's some people who ask for more lean. It's one of those things where I try to do a 50-50 split, a fair split. But in the end, if I do exactly 50-50, I'm going to end up with more lean brisket left over. So I end up doing like a 60-40 split. Arnell says, "I just retired Army vet." Well, congratulations and thank you, sir. Marcus says, "Great show as always. Got to make the donuts early tomorrow. Take care, everyone." Yes, thank you so very much for hanging out. Brother Young says he's in Houston. That's why you can get brisket for close to $2 a pound. mm. Laura says, "First brisket I saw here was $82. $82. Like 2 feet long, about 2 inches deep. Not sure how much a pound. It didn't have very much fat on it. So, excuse me, Laura. One of the things you have going against you, actually, two of the things, you are paying Canadian, which is more expensive because of the conversion, and also you're so very far away from where a lot of these cows are produced. It's ridiculous. But what I would try to say or do is find out how much it was per pound, and then you can kind of it's a little bit easier to compare when you're talking the specific same dollar figure or Canadian dollar figure. Justin says, "Are you varying your price depending on the cost, or your price is set and you take a hit if it costs me more?" I take a hit if it costs me more, Justin. So what I try to do is I try to upsell something, or I try to sell more of something, so that the dollar cost average it drops. So what I would do in this particular instance, and a few cents over, it's just unfortunately it's the cost of doing business. I'm not going to fluctuate my prices every week depending on what I buy the brisket for. It's too much. I actually just raised my prices this past, it was either Thanksgiving or Christmas that I raised my prices. And the price that I had been cooking at or selling food at had been the same since I started, for the most part, since 2015, basically. And throughout the pandemic, when brisket prices went astronomically high, I would discourage people from buying brisket because it was so expensive. So, did I fluctuate my price? No. Actually, I did. My uncle ordered brisket. He came down and got brisket, so I charged him, what I charged him, which was a little bit more. But I'm like, yo, bruh, the price of this brisket is has tripled. Do you want to buy this brisket? And he's like, yo, I need brisket. I'm like, you sure you need this brisket? He's like, we coming down there to pick up brisket. Make me, basically said, make me some brisket. I said, okay, this is what it's gonna cost you. Now that was my uncle, that's my family, and he supports me, so he's been buying brisket. He comes down to my house and gets a brisket. I feel like once a quarter, okay, and I'm like, I can cook brisket and I can break even and make just a little bit of something on it. And that's what I did. I wasn't trying to get rich off of that order, specifically. So, and then once the prices came back down, I actually raised my prices just a little bit because the price of brisket now has not come down really to pre-pandemic. Like I could get brisket for $2 and you know two 275, and now it's creeping up and been a lot closer to $3 per pound almost all the time. And just this past week, like I said, in 5 days it went from 292 and it's up over $3. I'm pretty sure the price went up like 10, maybe 12 cents per pound. And 10 or 12 cents per pound over a couple pounds, it adds up quickly. So I don't, but I'm not going to say I'm not paying attention to those finite differences, but I keep it in my mind, and it'll be one of those things where, oh no, I need to sell all of this brisket as opposed to, oh, I'll sell 6 pounds or 7 pounds of it and then we'll eat the rest. Nah, nah, nah. I'm selling all of these briskets. Uh, Orlando says, when I sell the brisket, I sell the whole thing. I try to make it worth my time. Well, Orlando, yes, but not everybody can afford whole briskets, and not everyone can eat a whole brisket. That's one of the things that I try to get folks to understand. Where I am, not one person, not one family is going to be able to eat a whole brisket. It's just not something that happens up here. More or less, when I'm doing whole briskets, I'm doing a whole brisket because someone is having a gathering, someone is having a party, someone is hosting something. They're doing a dinner, and they want that brisket to be one of the main courses. Laura says, Canadian, eh? What's up, Caden? He says, what's going on, my boys? Mimi, how are you doing? Urban Culture Kitchen. It says, sup, bro? Laura, that sounds like a plan. Hey, Jimmy, you still here? I forgot to show you that earlier. Look, Kurt, you represented there. Kent's not here. Who else was on here? Marcus, Crimson Creek. He's dropped off now, and I think that was it. I haven't seen Grumpus. Grumpus, you here? And I haven't seen Jim on a chat on a live stream in quite some time. Let's see. Terrace, can I inbox you for details and inbox for food prices? I'm trying to take over the Sous. That's right, the Sous meat and catering, everything is helpful. So Terry, yeah, man, just hit me up. Shoot me an email or instant or direct message on Instagram is the best way to get in touch with me. Um, I kind of suck at email. I don't check my emails as often as I should. Urban Culture Kitchen, yes, meat has gone up. Travis says, how do health inspections work when catering? That's one of those things where you're going to have to find out specifically what or how it works in your area. Those are specific to what you need to do in your area. Johnny, hello. put on my proper attire since Johnny is now arrived. Johnny, how you doing? Urban Culture Kitchen says you gotta go up, but the thing is this though, man, it fluctuates. I can't I can't keep changing my prices because it's just it'll piss people off when if you have too many fluctuations. I need to build in a little bit of a cushion. Yeah. Laura says we do have Angus farms there. Yeah, I bet. Urban Culture Kitchen says I charge by the market. I'm telling you, man, it's easier. I have a set price. I'll charge it, and I will make some money elsewhere. Zach says, "Hey, yo, yo, Dash Ford suck." Thanks, Caden. 46 people here, and with 44 likes, he says, "Come on, you two, hit that button." I found a brisket at 13 pounds for $92. Holy cow! Somebody do the math on that. Why care if they want to buy it? It's just it's a thing, man. I'm not going to just because someone buys it. I want them to buy again. How about that? I don't want to. There are people who are willing to pay that money, yes, but there are people who are willing to pay that money one time. I want people to be willing to pay that money every time. That's just me. MTG, you says, yo. Oh man, did I, Laura? Did I really? Justin says, where can I get stickers made so I can get on your cup? Sticker Mule. I ordered my stickers, and I won't say a lot. I won't speak for everybody, but I ordered my stickers through Sticker Mule. Oh. Oh. Shoot. Katie says, them stickers you sent me, I put the bigger one on the ranch hand bumper, and 2 hours later we got into a head-on wreck. So your sticker took a head-on hit at 55 miles per hour and was still there. Ag on, Caden. Did you scrape the sticker off the truck, man, so you could like put some tape on your new truck? Man, dang, Caden, you had one job. So Laura, I tried to look at the tracking on that package, and I don't know. Maybe I'm typing the wrong number, or I couldn't read the entire number. You might need to shine a light and get closer to the number, or take the number in like smaller series so that I can see the whole number. And I wasn't gonna bug you. I was just gonna be patient, because I couldn't actually check it. So there's that. We sell whole barbecue brisket for $150. So that's what's up. I'm selling them for $140 right now. But how big are the briskets that you buy and sell? When selling brisket or any other meat, when the customer gives a number of people to feed, how do you do the math on that? Is a half pound per person. I usually recommend a half a pound per person. That's my normal go-to. See, Darnell says, good thing I can shop for briskets on a military basis, man. I wish I could shop, man, at a PX for briskets, pork shoulders, ribs, man, all that stuff. KP King says, what's up, Dash? Picked up a choice 20 pounds for $45. That made no damn sense. That's $2.25 a pound. Freaking ridiculous. South. Oh, you funny. You really tried to pronounce it like the soup, like souffle, as opposed to the South. This is a good laugh, my brother. No, I mean, you say soup, like I'm thinking like a souffle or like a sous chef. So, but not like South. I like 6 times. Oh man, well Laura, I'm sorry. Yeah. How do I make it on the cup? MTG. So your stickers were bigger, and I put your stickers out on. I have that cart. Remember that cart that I showed you guys that I have on the side of my house? Your stickers are actually on the cart. But I mean, I have some room still on this cup here, cup vessel. So maybe I don't know. I accept bribes. How about that? Maybe I should have said that. All right, Caden, you take it easy, sir. All right, Laura. Yeah, if you type it out and tell me what who I need to track it with, I will. Laura, really, like I said, I wasn't gonna bug you about it. I was gonna let it go for a week or so, and then I was gonna ask you, hey, can you check on your end? But now yeah, sell to the right folks. People can't ask for something and don't want to pay the price. I'll go out of business. I hear you, man. I hear you. Different strokes for different folks, man. I just, crackheads in the other car came into my lane. When I hit them, rolled 4 times, was still able to drive my truck home. Jesus. Caden, yeah. She might have said the wrong one. No problem, Laura. Analysis dash next time you're out Capitol Heights. Just holla at me. We could take a ride. Well, Darnell, I'm gonna need you to send me a message on Instagram, please. Steel Drum Smokers. I go to Capitol Heights to go to the restaurant depot in Capitol Heights. So, yeah. If you tell me you can get me into a PX in Capitol Heights or somewhere in Capitol Heights, because I work in Lanham, so do not threaten me with a good time. So Orlando, I'm selling brisket currently for $18 a pound as well. They always want a lot for a little. Yeah, MTG, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. So I'm eating rice pudding that my wife made. Drinking black coffee. No energy drinks, no liquor tonight. Just kind of chilling. I do need to get, oh no, I'm about to say I need to get some more water. But I have some more water. Oh, am I the only one? Whenever I'm drinking something hot, I have to drink something cold as well. Like I can't just drink straight hot liquid. I have to have something cold too. Terry says you say you accept bride. I accept. I'm sure that's supposed to be bribe, but it says brides. What about Hennessy XO? I am not a Henny fan. Henny give you that Henny face, you be like, how many? Oh, I mean, as of late, if there's anything else to drink aside from Henny, I will drink anything else aside from Henny. Henny is just not my favorite. I am more of a clear liquor guy. Give me vodka, give me moonshine. I'm good. I do, and I like Crown. I like Crown Apple. Some of the flavored ones. Crown Apple being my favorite. Peach is up there, but because it's a not always thing, can't always do that. But yeah, I was buying $20 turkeys for the holidays for $8. Sold them at $60, $70. Yo, I'm not mad at that. My turkeys cost me. I was buying 15-pound turkeys and they were 99 cents a pound. So I was buying them for $15 or so per pound, and I was selling them for $65 plus delivery. Jeez. Yeah, I mean, you can get. I know I could get $24 a pound for brisket, but it would be one of those things where I would say it would be, $12 for half a pound, or $10 for half a pound. So, and then that's how Mission. So those of you guys who are familiar with Mission Barbecue, their prices are in half-pound increments. So the price is like, oh, it's $8, or it's $10, whatever the price is, and that's for half an hour. Or excuse me, for half a pound. or it's for like 6 ounces or 4 ounces. So the whole thing is, the amount that you have, it's like, oh, it's only this, and then you get whatever it is, and then you're like, hold up, why is this so expensive? And they're like, oh, that's and the portion, for the portion, and that portion is this. Just like Kirk was talking about, he was selling sausage and he was making the sausage, and I'm like, dude, in order for you to make that feasible, you got to charge a whole bunch more. I'm like, make them smaller and charge about the same amount, and people will still pay that amount. NTG says, I had a church give me turkey for free. I felt bad and sold them for $20. Shoot, I'll tell you what, I got a turkey or two last year for free, and I didn't feel bad selling it. Now, there was one, actually, I think that turkey ended up being the extra turkey this year because it was in the freezer. I left it in the freezer, so it was a turkey from last year. But it went out just like the rest of them did. Hey, what did you cook over there?
Alfredo.
Oh, okay.
With spinach and garlic.
All right. What do you drink? I got you, Terry, man. I'm telling you, vodka. Me and vodka, we go back like peas and carrots, and moonshine, corn liquor. I do that too. But like I said, I'll drink some corn every now and again. Or excuse me, Crown. Oof. I'll drink some Crown every now and again. And I actually started trying bourbon. So if you want to introduce me to a bourbon, feel free. But I'm not, I don't do a whole lot of brown liquor. Mike says $7.07 for the brisket. Now, Mike, was it a brisket flat or was it a whole brisket? Because I've seen brisket flats be very, very expensive. I mean, to the point where they're like $5 sometimes plus per pound. Rice put in. Terry, holy cow. You know all about the XO and the VS, huh? Man, I don't know nothing about that. I got cheap taste. Anyway, Mario. Justin says vodka lemonade and blue curacao. Sounds like something I could drink for sure. Lots of it. For sure. I like all of those things, Justin. All right, let's move that out the way. I gotta refill my water. Oh. First Love, what's going on? He says, Dash! Thank you, Laura. I appreciate that. Chris says, I personally think Jim Beam Double Oak is amazing. My current favorite bourbon. So, I'm still trying to learn how to bourbon. Like, I mean, I don't know what I don't know yet, Like I've had a couple bottles of Blanton's. I have a second bottle over there I'm looking at. I've had some. I had Basil Hayden's. I had. I don't think I had Angel Envy. I had a couple of them. Some Buffalo Trace. I have a bottle of Pappy. All right, and when I bought it, I was just like, all right, this is like a $70 bottle. Like, is it good? The dude looked at me like, you can only get this bottle one time a year. He said, yes, it's very good. I'm like, okay. I was like, I'll take one. Happened to be at the right place at the right time. I have another E.H. Taylor over there. And actually, between the E.H. Taylor, Blanton's, and I can't remember which other one I had at the time. And I was like, yo, the E.H. Taylor was half the price of the Blanton's, and I like the E.H. Taylor better than I like the Blanton's. and it's like the same, definitely almost the same. And yeah, I'm like, this hands down is way better, to the point where I put that one on the bottom of the shelf there, so I can kind of save that one for later. Pull it out on special occasions. Uh, Mario says, crying apple for me. Yeah, buddy. Orlando says, I sell prime brisket for $24 a pound. 10-pound briskets, flat choice on base is $40, no trim. Oh, that $20 was a decal already removed. What? Holy cow. Uh, Uncle Steve says your box is ready for pickup. Yeah, if he got there today, I was unable to get to the post office today, but I had been in the post office. I went on Friday, I went on Saturday. I've been in there a couple days, and it, I sometimes when folks say, "Oh, it's going to be here," I'm like, I already know I need to wait a week after whatever that date is. The mail has been horrible. MTG says can't drink a lot anymore. Blood sugar leaves suck. So MTG, what I tell you about drinking and blood sugar is light beer. Um, Light beer, and or you drink uh no, like 0 calorie drinks with it. So I am a diabetic, and my blood sugar does not go very very high after I'm drinking with you guys while I'm on live streams, because I'll drink light beer or I'll do a mix in, and the mix in, like the energy drinks, are always no sugar. Justin says barbecue sauce. Do you make sauce store bought? No sauce. So it kind of depends, but I do doctor something up off the shelf and or go no sauce. Sarnell says, hey Unc, I'll be putting an order soon. I'm running through the stuff, man. So Uncle Steve, I was talking earlier. I was saying that. So I'm actually eating some rice pudding that my wife made earlier this week, and I was like, man, I really wanted to have Uncle Steve's dessert shake to try it out on the live stream on this, and I did not. I was unable to get to the post office today. But I was also saying, we were talking earlier about putting brisket in ramen. I was telling the folks how I use your original shake in noodles, like oodles and noodles or ramen noodles, whatever, in the pack that I make for my kids for their lunches. So as opposed to using the pack that comes with the chicken pack or beef pack, I sprinkle in Uncle Steve's original shake on the noodles, and man, man, I tell you what, she's delicious. Oh man, Justin says Smirnoff Ice, zero sugar. I I draw the line at zero as Smirnoff Ices. I just, oof. I've gotten I've gotten iced a couple times. Let's put it that way. Terry says whatever you got a taste for, we can get it. But I'm all in all, I'm just trying to get some barbecue wisdom on top of the catering business. Oh well, Terry, I appreciate that, man. Not a problem. Like I said, nope. Your thoughts about opening a commercial commissary kitchen? If you did, what minimum equipment would you need to have installed? So, Izzy, I'm not 100% sure, because the equipment that you would need to have installed would be contingent upon what it is you're doing. Um, and another thing is going to be contingent upon where you are. Your local rules and restrictions are going to dictate what you can and cannot do, and or can and cannot put in that commissary kitchen. Mario says arroz con leche, good stuff. Yes, indeed. Gotta sign out. Gotta smoke for 2 a.m. Well, Terry, thank you very much, man. Huh. Uh, One of the other things too, MTG, if you're drinking and you're drinking with something that has a bunch of sugar, you gotta drink a whole bunch of water. The water will help flush out the sugar. Ask me how I know. So, yeah, there's that. This rice pudding, pretty good. Yeah. But one of the things, I've always been a big water drinker. One hell of a big smoke, snorting like Christmas snow. I'm kind of bummed. I need to get more water. Oop. Actually, gonna have to come to my Saturday and let me Q&A. Darnell. Maybe we can work that out. A lot of times on the weekends, I'll be completely honest, it's like family time. I don't do a whole bunch on YouTube or in live streams and stuff like that. So one of the other things too, on Saturday evenings, a lot of times I'm cooking. So, but if you can, just like I said, hit me on Instagram. That's the best way to get in touch with me, or send me an email, and we can try to work that out. I'm not going to tell you no, but like I said, we're going to have to work that out for sure. Man, we are an hour and a half in. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. That's kind of weird. I saw it was at 50 thumbs up, and now it's at 49. And now there's 50 again. So I have one thumbs down. Laura says I drink 1.5 liters times 3. So 18 glasses a day, maybe more. So this, Laura, is a half-gallon container. Hold on, if I can close it just so I can make sure I don't spill it. All right. This is a half-gallon container, 64 ounces. I used to fill this up and drink this amount of coffee every day, or almost every day, like 3 to 4 times a week. So then when I stopped going to work every single day, I would only drink this amount of coffee on the days when I went into work, which was Monday, Wednesday, and every other Friday. And then every now and again, I would stop in on my late day. So at Thursday mornings, or my late day, I would stop in the 7-Eleven and fill that with coffee. But I have been recently, doing the intermittent fasting, and I haven't had coffee, nearly as much coffee as I used to. Actually fill it halfway, 3/4, maybe a third of with ice and water, and I'll drink that. But what I've been doing is I have this insulated cup, and I'll take this to work, and I will fill it up twice. And this is a 16-ounce cup, and I'll drink 16 ounces of black coffee. Usually that's more than enough coffee, and I'll drink the rest water. So, like, I won't say struggling, but of course, when there's not, no sweetener, no creamer in it, I'm not drinking the coffee nearly as fast. Mario says, what model ice maker do I have? Well, I can show you. Give me a second. I will post in the chat. I have a pretty fancy ice maker. I was one of those things where I treated myself to, oh man, it's gone down in price. Ain't that about a blip? But this was, I won't say my favorite thing, but this is definitely the thing that I treated myself to. So on Prime Day, I actually saw it. I saw it and purchased it, and I was like, I gotta get this thing. I gotta get this. because I had been having issues with my ice maker at home, and man, I saw this ice maker, and I've been looking at it for probably 6 months or so, and I was like, man, Meeks is no coffee for me. Ew. Then you definitely wouldn't like it black. It is an acquired taste, that's for sure. Laura says trade the snow if you want my negative 29C feels like negative 40. The newsman said, nope, 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 nope. Mario says there's too many on Amazon. I can't decide. I have the Cadillac of ice makers, okay, and I got Jimmy bought one from Cuff and Stuff, and also Alton bought one from the Dog Father's Barbecue. He bought one, and I'm telling you, the ice maker is so good. It's so good. It gives you that crushed, the hospital ice or the Chick-fil-A ice, or my sister-in-law calls it bougie ice. It's great, and it it has a hopper in front of it. It'll fill up that hopper in an hour and a half, 2 hours, from no ice to full in 2 hours. And man, I used to turn it off at night and then turn it on in the morning and get it going. I actually found that it's easier, better to just let it run and let it stay cycling. And what happens is once the hopper fills up, you just it will stop making ice. So in the mornings when I come down, I'll not crush but break up the ice that's kind of melted on each other inside, and then it starts to cycle again. But I'll usually take out almost all of that ice that's in there between filling up this half-gallon container with ice and my big old, this is a 40-ounce cup of ice. Yeah, I take out majority of the ice that was sitting in there overnight. I will break all that up. I will top off the reservoir, and then I head out for the day, or I sit down on my desk at the table, and I'll work. And it's running now, and you guys can probably barely hear it. And it just chugs along and makes ice, and we have never run out of ice. Let's put it that way. Since I've been using it, since we've had it, and it's just one of those things where it just runs, and it does a very good job. Oh, Laura says I saw one like the I saw one countertop look like the one Dash bought a hot and cold ninja. Oh, okay. Like for like a we thought about doing one of those, Laura, for water, but we haven't pulled the trigger on that one. Jimmy says spent the afternoon outside in short sleeves. Just oh gosh. If you try it here, you'll freeze anything off. Yeah. Mario, I'm telling you, dude, you know what? It's one of the best investments I've ever made. Like seriously. It is that good. Is that awesome? Laura says she loves her black coffee. Why not bullet coffee? Bullet coffee um is with the butter in it, right? I think there's calories in that, maybe. When I'm drinking black coffee because I'm trying to fast in the mornings. So the ice machine is the bomb. Jimmy says no joke. I do that in the morning about very only morning. Victor is super cold out. We are in a cold warning. Sure enough, man. You're in Canada. That's like a perpetual thing. Are you ever going to transition into doing a trailer or truck for catering? So, Chris, it's one of those things where if the opportunity presents itself, then yes. I'm not going to say no. And actually, I've been thinking about that more and more lately. It's just one of those things, man, where I really like being around the house every now and again. I don't want to devote 100% of my time to, and when I say 100% of my time, I mean I don't want to devote 100% of my weekend basically to doing being on a trailer and cooking and then being like burnt out and tired. I mean, it's draining cooking a lot. Uh, Laura says butter, coconut oil, or MCT oil makes up bullet coffee. Thank you, Laura. Like I said, I've seen and heard of folks talking about it. I've just never done it. Kimberly says good evening. Hubby and I looking to start a barbecue at the end of the year. Any advice? Watch my videos. I mean, not for nothing. I do talk a lot about the business aspect of barbecue, and I'm going to be getting more into the catering aspect, the business aspect of barbecue. But I tried to do that while cooking, and I won't say the catering like hints and tips and tricks they got lost in the cooks because it was one of those things where you would have to be watching a video about me cooking brisket in order to learn how to cut up and weigh out brisket. So I'm gonna try and start focusing more on the business aspect more so than the cooks themselves. Just be patient with me. I did a lot of cooking on YouTube for a long time, and I'm just a little. It wasn't as fun as it used to be, and I needed a little bit of a break. So, unfortunately, Kimberly, what I would say is I have a few different videos, some frequently asked questions, like what to charge, how I got started, how I started doing barbecue, some of those things. But I apologize. It's almost 11 o'clock here for me, and it's been a long day. Today for me started at 4:30 this morning. I turned the alarm off and kind of sat up at 4:30. So yes, even though I'm drinking black coffee here, uh, but Kimberly, yeah, my advice is definitely going to be stick around, please, and you kind of have to. I didn't have a plan, and not everyone needs a plan. Sometimes you just gotta start, and how you start, where you start, when you start, you have to decide that, and you can just be like, you know what, today is the day. Laura says, but you know what, Dash, we don't live in igloos. Go figure. Yeah, I'm glad for you, Laura. One love, big dog. Keep it coming. We love the content and the purity of your channel. He says, "Hey yo, this is Dash. One love, my brother. Well, thank you very much, Terry. I do appreciate that, definitely." Bumpy says, "What up, Dash? Been watching on my TV, just able to comment through my phone. That's what's up, man. I appreciate you, man. Definitely. Uh, I feel like it's a couple of you guys who are in the area, and when I say the area, I mean I live in Baltimore, and there's a few of you guys who are in Maryland." And it's one of those things, man. I cannot wait until I bump into you. And Bumpy, I'm picking on you on purpose. I can't wait to bump into you, Bumpy. Pun intended. Man. Kimberly says barbecue truck that is, and okay, we will watch them. I completely understood what you were going with, or excuse me, where you were going with that, Kimberly. I read a lot in between some of these sentences and do a lot and make a lot of inferences. So sometimes I'm on the right path, and other times it's like, what the hell are you talking about? But just be patient with me, please. I will be doing more videos. Justin said, any unpublished videos out there? Not anything that are barbecue related. Justin, I did see your comment on Patreon earlier today. This afternoon I was seriously inundated running errands. I left work. I was able to get my car washed. I didn't even get my car washed, dried and cleaned out, like vacuum out and inside. Boom, boom, boom. I I stopped and made a purchase. I had to, um, like I said, I got my car washed, made a purchase, picked up my kids from school, and then I ran back out because I was told, hey, you need to go ahead and pick this thing up before you can, before they sell out. So I ran some errands, was able to get some things that I needed, Then had to go to Restaurant Depot. Then got home. I ended up cooking dinner for taste testing number 2 and 3. I mean, it was an afternoon. So I did not get a chance to actually reply, but I did see your message on Patreon, and I will reply to you. And rightfully, excuse me, rightfully so. I'll film something for you specifically. Uh, Victor says I would like you to do a update on how to get your money, as in PayPal. So you open up a PayPal account, or you set PayPal up and associate PayPal with a bank account. With setting up and associating PayPal with your bank account, you designate your PayPal account as a business. And once you do that, you should be able to, after a while now, I've had my PayPal account for quite some time, but I was able to use and or get a PayPal business debit, or PayPal business debit card. And with that business debit card, the funds that are in my PayPal account, I can use and debit them directly from this card. Now, of course, when you use the PayPal swipe or PayPal here or invoices, PayPal charges you a fee. When you use the card to make purchases, and you have to use purchase like credit purchases, not debit purchases, when you use the card for signature credit purchases, you get 1% of your spending back in the form of rewards, per se. Let's say, rather. And that 1% goes to offset any fees you've already paid PayPal. So I try to use PayPal as my primary means of invoicing, and it just keeps track of everything pretty much automatically. Now, if I have to, I can send money to my bank account through PayPal. Do I use PayPal to pay other things and people? Yes. Um, and if I ever needed to get cash, like money, I can use that debit card and go to an ATM and make a withdrawal. Or I could just send the money to my checking account. Checking account. And it'll take a couple days to transfer ACH from my PayPal account to my bank account, where I can take it out with no fee. But when, like I said, now one of the other things too is, as soon as someone pays the invoice and the invoice is paid, that money is in your PayPal account and you have access to those funds immediately. You have, if I send you or I swipe a card from, and I have the PayPal card reader, again, those funds are available immediately. So that's one of the, to me, a feature, definite heavy feature for PayPal. So, but yeah, I can talk more on that, Victor. Chris says I have an early morning myself, so I'm going to head out. Cheers, my friend. Thank you very much, Chris, for hanging out. Definitely a good time. I really appreciate you being here. William says, hey, yo, what up, barbecuers? um, oh, hell yeah. Bumpy, for sure. He says, hopefully, if things get back to some type of normal, right? Uh, da, 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 da. We could barbecue over some beer, and I can pick your brain. Is that beer? Oh no, those are shots. Hell yeah, man, I'm with it. Beer and shots, or some, whatever. Is all come down to Bama, and but you so ain't they did a good time. Old Southern saying, I know it'd be a good old time. I'll cater. That's what's up. Oh, man. Oh man, oh man. My man said, "Oh, Wayne Dane, doodle good time." I can't even say that with a straight face. Oh man. mm. A Wayne Dane doodle. Hmm. I understand, Victor, but I mean, so Victor said I was meaning that doing PayPal or credit cards to repayment for, I guess, as a payment for your customers. So far, he's only been doing cash. I mean, in the beginning, we almost all start out doing cash and or folks nowadays have Cash App where I didn't have that. Zelle, Venmo. I definitely didn't have that when I started out. It was cash only, and I mean, obviously, having cash in my pocket was great because it was fun money. You know what I mean? But now I'm treating this a little more seriously, and I try and keep my business funds here and my personal funds here. But so when you swipe a card, Victor, and you take that credit card payment, and if you do it through PayPal, that money is in your account, in your PayPal account instantly, and you can use it instantly. Like I've had folks, there's a PayPal has an app, PayPal here, and that's what you use to create your invoices and things like that, or you can use it to create invoices and things like that. And like one of my friends, he called me up and he says, "Hey man, is there any way where I can get some brisket like tomorrow?" And I said, luckily enough for you, I'm standing in Walmart. I'm like, I can send you an invoice right now. If you pay this invoice right now, I will go back to the meat section and pick up a brisket for you right now. He's like, send me the invoice. I sent an invoice. By the time it took me to walk from where I was at the registers over back to where the meat department was, he paid the invoice, which meant that I was able to buy another brisket. I mean, it's just PayPal is instant. Best thing about it. PayPal froze my money for 2 weeks, called and got a run around. I'm just using them as a backup now. So, Justin, it's one of those things, man, where you kind of have to, like, PayPal will freeze up your stuff in a second. You have to keep your PayPal straight. You can't let too much money be pulled out of your PayPal. You can't pay too many people PayPal, or it's one of those things. I've managed to keep and have my PayPal account in great standing for years, but I know a few folks that are like, I don't deal with PayPal. Something happened, and you have to work through that, and don't let it happen again, because I'm telling you, PayPal is one of the better um, payment methods systems for small businesses, because the fees are a lot lower than some of the, like Square. Square charges more money, and the money gets to you slower. Point blank. What did I cook for the kids? So tonight I made some. I just did some fries and burgers. But the burgers, I did them out on the tabletop Blackstone that I have, and they were just frozen burgers. But I did use some of the Uncle Steve's the beef competition rub, the competition cow rub. I think that's what it's called specifically. I like that on burgers. Laura's back. That's what's up. He said, "Dang, I'm beat off the bed. Good night, everybody." No worries, Victor. Have a good evening, Victor. Definitely appreciate you being here this evening and hanging out. I received money from a company in China through PayPal. That's why they froze me. Holy cow. Well, obviously, um, they thought something was suspicious. But I don't know, Justin. Yeah, like I said, there's I won't say PayPal doesn't do things without a reason. The reason is typically, selfish. They're looking out for their own best interests. So I've seen and heard people having issues with PayPal, and and then when it comes down to it, they've had issues with PayPal because they don't know how to run a bank account, basically. But obviously, fraud is another thing, and if incoming fraud was a problem or the problem, I can totally understand why PayPal would want to shut that down. But PayPal is, to me, the easiest avenue of getting money from customers aside from Cash App. Cash App is pretty easy as well. The only problem with Cash App is there's a lag. And if I'm getting food or selling food on a Friday and that money doesn't hit my account until Tuesday, because if it's too late on Friday and then there's a weekend, that can seriously hurt my cash flow. And, you know, I'm not made of money, and I don't like to float my business, money by paying for things on my personal credit card and stuff like that. No, 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 no. It's just, it depends on your situation. But Bumpy says, how do you or what makes Bessie all wood smoker? I have this Kingsford offset, and I notice she runs a little more consistent when I have more wood than charcoal in it. Any thoughts? Um, Bessie was designed to run on all wood. Period. The firebox works well with all wood because of the airflow. Because of the airflow in there, it's just one of those things where I can't explain it. I can put charcoal in Bessie, and I've run charcoal in Bessie, and it's inefficient with charcoal because it works better with wood. It just burns through charcoal because it's not insulated. Now with Vicky, because of the fact that it's insulated, I put a half a bag of charcoal in there, and Vicky runs for 4 to 6 hours steady. When the temperature starts dipping, it's because she needs more charcoal. But it's one of those things, man. He says I have a Kingsford offset, and I notice she runs a little more consistent when I have more wood than charcoal. One of the things too with wood, you can make more finite adjustments. With charcoal, once the charcoal gets lit, it's going to take off, and you're off to the races. So I think the consistency is coming because of the fact that when you limit the amount of charcoal that goes in there, it can't use the fuel to fuel the fire, if you know what I mean. When you put wood in there, you're limited to how much air you get in there as to what the temperatures can do. I use Virtual Visa for online sales. All right. I don't know if Virtual Visa um, is a Canadian only thing, or if it's available in the States as well. Yes, Darnell, the competition, cow powder. Love it on burgers and steak. Oh man, dude. Terry says Wayne Dane Doodle took took you for one. Oh man, it's still can't even say it. Wayne Dane Doodle. Yeah. just uh just think all about the barbecue we on it, cuz no problem. You're on you're a residential family member. Well, I appreciate that, Terry. Definitely. Oh man. I guess maybe next week we can talk about payment. How do you accept payments? Or what form of payment do you accept? How about that? If I can remember, I'm going to try and write that down. I know I have a folder here. A list. Let's see. Irish. Live stream ideas. There we go. What payment methods do you accept? Control S. All right, perfect. If I don't write it down, I will forget. Do you like Kamado cookers? Mario, you know what's funny? I actually used my big green egg yesterday. I made some squash. I roasted some squash on the big green egg. I did butternut squash as well as a spaghetti squash. They turned out pretty darn good. The only bad thing with the Kamado cookers is they take a while to come up to temperature. And one of the things I found with my big green egg, it was taking such a very long time to come up to temperature because I didn't open it up. Yesterday and the past few cooks, when I've used that cooker, I've opened up the lid and let it kind of come up to temperature, and as opposed to it just like that slow burn to get up to temperature, the heat up everything. When you let the fire kind of not rage but get up to temperature faster and then close it off, it heats up everything and you get going much faster. So there is that. CJ, what's going on, man? How you been? I saw that you ended the hot seat and you kind of passed the torch. So yeah. Kimberly says, do you have a food truck or you just cater or both? Which do you prefer? So, Kimberly, don't have a food truck or trailer or a brick and mortar or anything at the moment. Pretty much just cooking out of the house and doing word of mouth catering. And what do I prefer? So I used to sell food via Instagram. I didn't have a truck or trailer or anything like that. So it was one of those deals where I would cook, take pictures, post it on Instagram, and I was delivering food to wherever I needed to be. And I definitely prefer catering over doing that because the catering is like, this is how much I need to buy, this is how much I need to cook, this is how much money I'm going to make, and that was it. Versus me selling food via Instagram, it was, all right, this is how much money I have in my pocket, this is what I can afford to buy. I need y'all to buy this food so I can go afford to buy something else, and then kind of, stepstone from there. Laura says it's another card with your bank, so next time at the bank, ask if they have a virtual card for buying online with your main account. Oh, okay, Laura. I've seen something along those lines, definitely. Uh, Bumpy says, I get it. He says, the way you feel about Vicky is the way I feel about my acorn. He says, I'm going to have to start monitoring my offset a little more and test some more cooks with majority wood. It's one of those things, Bumpy, where there could be a diminishing rate of return. It's designed to run with charcoal and then just like stick or throw a stick in there to help with some flavor. I believe if it's the Kingsford, grill that I'm thinking of offset. Excuse me. And can you put more wood in it? Yeah, but I think, the size of the firebox is restricted, and that's going to be a limiting factor. For sure. Justin says, all right, my sticker meal order has been confirmed. Save a space on your cup. Holy cow, Justin, man, you are efficient if there's nothing else. Orlando says, if someone bought 3 racks of spear ribs, how much would you charge them to smoke them? So I don't take food from other folks. If I'm not buying it, I'm not cooking it. I want to make sure that I have 100% control over the quality of those ribs. I want to make sure that, the food chain, the custody of command, that the food is not spoiled, or it hasn't been sitting in somebody's trunk. Oh, I forgot it and I took it out and put it in the refrigerator and then handed it to them. Or nah, man, I don't want no parts of that, because I do not want to be blamed for spoilage if there is spoilage. So I go and buy the food. I go and source everything. I don't cook food for folks who give me food. As a rule, I do not do it. Have I done it? Yes. Do I do it often? No. It's one of those things, man. Gosh, the amount of money that that I'm going to have to charge in order to make money is not going to be justified by someone who gave me food. Like, oh, however many hours this is and this, that, and other. Yeah, it's just, it's not worth it. I found, because you're charging that person too much money. And then they're like, why is it going to cost me? Look, if I'd have just given you, or I let you buy the ribs, then it would have cost me this amount of money. Yep. But if I give them to you, you're charging me this amount of money? Yep. Sometimes it's not, it's just easier and better to just go and get the ribs or whatever it is yourself. Uh, So, but the only thing bumpy about the acorn that Bumpy has, or the acorn period, is capacity. The acorn, you just can't. I don't say you can't cook enough, but there's only so much that you can cook on an acorn. Sorry. Well, this is good to hear. Yeah, no, acorn is fine. It's but it's one of those things where once you learn your cooker, you you cook to your cooker's needs. It's like driving a car. I know nobody started out with the best car ever. I mean, most of us, our first cars were not brand new cars, right? They were not brand new vehicles. I'll say vehicle in case you had a pickup truck or a tractor as your first vehicle. But what happens is you fell in love with that vehicle and you understood and learned its quirks. So you drove around them. You lived with those quirks and you dealt with them. Same thing with the cooker that you like. If, oh man, if I have more than this amount of meat on there, it doesn't do this right. If I put this type of charcoal in there, it doesn't do this the same. Or that those things that sometimes you have that relationship where you look past certain faults per se, and you love it for a specific reason because it does something well. uh oh man, Jimmy, we're not gonna talk about it. Yes, Jimmy, I'm looking at you. Darn it. My kettle slowness here is not as set and forget as I like. Well, Mario, so one of the things that I found with the slow and sear is you have to put water in it. You also have to start with a small fire. You cannot start with a huge fire in it. I found that if you start with a fire, or light a couple coals and put them on one end of the slow and sear, it does actually translate and cook pretty evenly and consistently. Now you also have to limit how much air is getting in. When I use the slow and sear, I use it like a hair under a quarter of the inlet open, and then on the top I also like a quarter, or she's like not even a quarter of those rings on the top open, to limit how far and how what the temperature can do in this or with the slow and sear. Uh, Orlando says I made a big mistake this Sunday. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! 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 Oh no! I'm guilty of watching TikTok sometimes too much. Oh man, Jimmy. See what you did? See? Laura's right. Look, 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 look. Yeah. Looking at my rollie, it's about that time. I was hoping I could, not make up for it, but I was hoping that I could talk to you guys for a bit longer tonight just because. But it has been a long, long time today. A long day, rather. Jimmy says, past my bedtime. Thanks, Dash. Looking forward to the next for your next contact. Yes, indeed. Terry says 100%, no problem. But guys, I can't say thank you enough for spending. I say it all the time. You could have been anywhere in the world. No, it's not really sugar related. Just want to lose a couple pounds, Jimmy, and I have a goal that I would like to do, but I mean, it's one of those things where it's I'm trying. I don't even know. Like I need to have a plan because my wife was like, if you don't have a plan, you're gonna, if you, what is it saying? If you fail to plan, then plan to fail. One of those type deals. I loosely have a plan. I try and my windows between noon and 8, and I'm trying to stick with it. Tonight I was just like, you know what? I'm not drinking any alcohol. I'm gonna have some rice pudding, damn it. So that was what I did. But unfortunately, case may be, you know, it's more of a general weight loss thing, not necessarily sugar. My sugar is actually really in control. Last A1C I had was a couple weeks ago, and it was 6.9, so it's under 7. Um, Currently using Oklahoma Joe vertical offset. I max out at 12 slabs of St. Louis ribs. It's time to upgrade for more capacity. What are my don't break the bank options? It's it's hard, Justin, because one of the things that's going to play into that is what type of cookers, smokers, grills can you get made locally? Like someone who makes grills and smokers in your area. I'm lucky I have a place that makes grills and smokers. It's called Meadow Creek. It's an hour and a half away. It's just north of here in Pennsylvania. Um, there's another guy who's making smokers. Who's down in Southern Maryland. The guy who I was thinking of earlier, it's RJB or RBJ Metals, and he's making smokers, but I won't say they're not tested, but I don't know how they work or how well they work. So unfortunately, I can't say I stand behind them because I don't know how well they work. Now, if you were to say, all right, you know what, Dash, take one of these home with you and do some damage. Okay, like say less. I could possibly figure out how good or where they need improvements, if that makes sense. Because I don't know how he cooks, and yeah, yeah. Laura, I'm doing 16 hours fasting, 8 hours eat window, but I found that I've been doing more of a almost like a 16 to like a 18 6. Is that the right math? Uh, if I eat early enough, then I'm like, all right, I'm not going to eat anything else the rest of the day. So yeah, there's a couple times when I've done that. Jimmy says you need sugar-free monster with anything else. It takes a snail mail to deliver. No, some jars, and I'll send those through Amazon. So you just let me know if you want some bigger jars or some smaller jars. But that is one of those things that I'm gonna make sure I send your way. Is some jars and other supplies and things like that. I know you use when you send sauce up this way. Uh, hey Mario, I appreciate that. Laura says I do keto and then try to do it, but eat around noon or 1. Yeah, definitely understand. I try and eat around 12 o'clock as well. Sometimes it works, other times it does not. Like, because I'm up so early in the morning, I'm up at 4:30 in the morning. I am hungry at like 9, 10 o'clock. And especially if I don't have any coffee, I will use coffee as a meal replacement or more or less for like replacing breakfast. And there are times when I'm like, at 11:15, 11:30, I'm like at my wits end, like, all right, I need to go someplace where it's going to take me 20 minutes to get there or whatever, and another 20 minutes to get back so that I can, by the time I sit back at my desk, it's like 12:05, 12:10. So then I'm after when that window is supposed to start. Mario, man, you dropped a couple bucks. You know you can take advantage with my undivided attention and make me shout out or say something funny. Uh, Liquid Jimmy. Just to tell you all, Trevor Noah funny as hell. Yeah, buddy, he sure is. Uh, uh, uh. Ooh. Yeah, lots of water. Yes, indeed, man. We are getting some. You know what? Let me show you guys these snowflakes we're getting right now. These. I know who Trevor Noah is. I am a big Trevor Noah fan. I watch Trevor Noah almost every day. Oh man, look at this. This is the snow currently. We are getting some big old snowflakes. So there's Vanna down there, and she's covered. It's snowing, that's for sure. Goodness gracious. I actually don't have anything to cook tomorrow. Last time I cooked, it was snowing. But there's Debbie and there's my wife's van. So they're parked at the top of the driveway so that the driveway, you guys can't really see it, but it's a hill. And when it snows bad enough, we have difficulty getting up and out of that hill. So I park the vehicles at the top of the driveway and I park them back, we'll head in. Yeah. And I'm because of where the snow doesn't actually come down, I can use the traction from the vehicles to back out without a problem. And then when I put the vehicles back, when I put the vehicles back, I will put them in backwards just to make them easier to get in and out of the driveway. Because of the top of the driveway, I always make sure that's shoveled, or I try to make sure that's shoveled, depending on how much snow we get and all of those things like that. Laura says, I love the snow. Yeah. Oh, shoot. Man, I got up from where I was sitting and went over closer to the window. And my daggone head is cold. Terry says, I do intermittent fasting. It helps me just try fruit. Love seeing it fall and cover, but then I'm done. I hear you. When they fall like grandma plucking your nose, yeah. DB? What? Johnny says I wouldn't go anywhere in that stuff. Yeah, because that's because y'all know how to drive in it, man. It's easy. You just have to anticipate where you're going and use momentum. That's all. Just don't stop. That's it. Slow down. Just don't stop. Oh man. But Johnny shooting that. Ain't nobody got time for sitting in the house. That's for daggone sure. So the street I live on, and I can hear that is the guy that runs he runs a plow truck. Johnny says it's easier to stay home. Man, hell with that. There's 5 folks in this house, and I am one of them, and I need to get out of the house. I can't. I don't do well in the house for very long periods of time. Laura says I love walking in it, but some of the wind is now it's too cold. Yeah. Thank goodness. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. Alexa, what's the current temperature?
Right now, it's 32 degrees Fahrenheit.
32.
Expect a low of 28 degrees.
With a low of 28. Yeah. I've never seen live snow fall in my life. What? Do I need to open a door and go outside for you? Or is was seeing it from the window enough? I will go outside and you can see big old snowflakes up close and personal. It ain't all it's cracked up to be. You get over the snow pretty quickly. But it's one of those things, man. Snow is so awesome. Like it really is. Like snowball fights and playing in the snow, and I won't say it's a rite of passage, but growing up as a kid, snow days from school, there's nothing like it. So where we have issues with snow, I mean, you guys have other natural disasters and things like that. 32 is freezing. So 32 is 0, Laura. Um, or is it? Yeah, 32 is freezing. So 32 is 0 Celsius. Uh, yeah, because 32 is 0, and then 100 is boiling, which is 212 degrees Fahrenheit. I know those two numbers. That's about it. uh, it's the best tobogganing. I've never actually been on a toboggan, but we just say sledding. So we'll go sledding. But yeah, man, it's playing in the snow. Justin, like, you never been skiing or anything like that either? Mm. 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 Laura says sledding as in a ski-doo. No. Sledding as in a plastic tub or tube, not tube, but a thing that you slide down the hill on, as opposed to, so what you call a toboggan, we call a sled. But a toboggan to me is like a bigger wooden, heavier duty type sled. But yeah, you guys have snow machines. Snow machines? Yeah, snowmobile. And you guys call snowmobile sleds, where we call a snowmobile. So, but yeah. My oldest son moved to Boulder, Colorado to be in the snow. Says he'll be back home in March. I can imagine. Justin says our 4 seasons equal earthquake, riot, fire, and flood. Yeah. mm, 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 mm. Yeah, we getting some big old. We getting a decent amount of snow. Like I hadn't been up to check obviously in 2 hours to see how much progress there was. Yes, Laura, you Canadians definitely talk funny, eh? Definitely talk funny. Mm. We won't hold that against you, though. Yeah, it's all right. Thank you, Mr. Alien born on Earth. So how does that work out? Mm. Hi, Orlando Sedash is a offset smoker for sale. I'm looking at the company is called Season Feeder. It looks good. The only thing I have a problem with is the diffuser. It doesn't have one, but they have vents. Orlando, see, this is all part of the problem. This is what I'm saying, where it depends on what you can get as to something that you can use for cooking. If you think that might be a problem, maybe see and talk to them about it and see if there's something that they can redesign or add for you, in your order. Justin says, I've been to the snow, 4-hour drive from here, but never seen fresh snow or snow fall. Just like on the ground, mostly ice, yeah. The vents are under the grates, Orlando says. Huh. Um, Maybe you can get them to put some sort of diverter plate in there and see if that. But it's one of those things where maybe it works well the way that it works, and maybe you don't need to modify it or change it. Laura says we do get tornadoes, but not much. All right. I know there's someone in here that hasn't hit the thumbs up button. Oh, thanks, Jimmy. If you go before I get back, enjoy the night, eh? Yeah, I'll hold off just for you, Laura. I might be. Let me get comfortable. I'm gonna sit here, close my eyes, and wait for Laura to get back. Thanks, Laura. You too. I definitely appreciate it. Jay Beats and Waves. What's going on? Like boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats. Yeah, that's always how I remember. Like, when people start talking about beatboxing and stuff like that. Boots and cats, boots and cats, and if you boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats, this I know it'll be stuck in your head too that way. Wait, your eyes are more open than they were last week. Yeah. Oh, I put the bottle away. I put a hurting on that bottle last week. I was like, I was like this last week. Trying to read comments. Oh boy. Good times, Jimmy. Good times. Definitely good times. Does anybody else have anything to add talking about startup costs or any other questions about startup costs? Like I said, someone hit me up about this the other day, and I'm like, I can't answer that question very easily. So I figured we could talk about it. Excuse me. I guess one last time before I go soon, we're going to go probably at the bottom of the hour unless the conversation picks up. But if you haven't already hit that thumbs up button for me, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could please. Hitting the thumbs up button, it really does help me and make me feel better about doing these videos. And it really does help my channel. Jimmy says, we have downed a few on the live stream. Yeah, buddy. Oh, no problem, Johnny. Thank you very much for hanging out and stopping by. Definitely appreciate it, Jimmy. John, me, you too. Thank you very much. Tim says, hello from Orlando. Long time no text. Yeah, it's all right. I'm still here, even if you can't hang up all the time. But yeah, good night, Johnny. I probably should have kept your hat on for a little while. It made my head not be so cold. But my head was cold, like I said, after going over by the window. Hey, Justin, are you still here? Papa Bears. I'm moving about the house. Let me go out the front door. Let's see. Yeah, it is snowing for sure. Look, ow. And that's a good inch on the van. I can't see my car because it's on the other side of the van. So Tim says I've been plowing snow. Did you ever get a food truck? No, Tim, I have not. I was just looking at the food truck and trying to see if that was something I was gonna do. But one of the things that's great about the block I live on is that truck. This guy runs that truck up and down the street all night long, because up the street there's a state-run school, and our street has to remain open so that they can get access to that school. But you see how this street is plowed and that street is not. That is the city's responsibility, where this is the responsibility of the state. So this guy runs up and down the street all night long, putting down putting down salt and plowing. So he parked over there, so he'll sit there for a couple minutes before he comes back through. Oh, there he comes back up the street. And he might actually be putting down salt this time. Yep, and he's putting down salt. So I never usually have to worry about being able to get to my house. That street there is a pretty main street, and that street will take me right to the highway. So I don't typically have to worry. I'm out in a hoodie and I don't even have any shoes on my feet, so my feet are freezing. But those of you guys who have never seen the snow, and these are big old flakes. They're melting in my hand pretty quickly. Here's some on my hoodie. But they're big old flakes, big old wet flakes. Oof. Oh, there's one. Big old wet flakes. It doesn't take very long for them to melt. But there you go. Those of you guys here, let me see if I can get under the light. Nope. But those of you guys who have never seen the snow, there it is. Yeah, all right. Back inside. Okay. Whew. Cold outside. All right, let's see. Orlando says, yeah, it's $1,200 and there's almost no videos of people cooking on that smoker. I don't want to pay that much just to find out it doesn't work the way I want it to, flavor-wise. So maybe you can talk to the manufacturer, talk to the person who makes them and say, hey, can I come and cook on one? And if it works for you, then hey, I'll buy it. If it doesn't work for you, then maybe, hey, I can walk away. But just offer them, something to try it. I don't know. Kind of figure out how to work that deal out. Whew. Justin says, licensing. Is it really practical to be licensed when you start? I've got the resale permit. Just fine for just file for fictitious business name. So Justin, this is one of those things where it's going to depend on where you live, because certain licenses you can kind of get away with being under the table, but other places, if you got a-hole jerk neighbors or people who are in a similar business than you, they probably are going to tell on you, and there can be legal ramifications. So you have to be careful, and you have to know your audience. Let's put it that way, as to what you can and cannot do. So, and that's exactly it, Justin. So sometimes, I mean, I tell you, I have a business, I have my business formed. I have an LLC set up, and I'm gonna say that's about it. But I also have my ServSafe certifications, because I don't have a commissary kitchen. I can't get a catering license. I can't. There's certain things I cannot get, and the big hindrance is the fact that I can't get a commissary kitchen, or it's just not feasible for me to get a commissary kitchen right now. Justin said it looks wet and cold. Weather is the only reason I've never moved from LA. It is cold, and it's not really wet. So when it snows, it like it feels different. You can feel snow coming. There's a crispness in the air when it snows. So you know how you can smell rain, and you probably don't have enough experience with rain to be able to smell it, but you can smell rain when rain is coming. You can feel snow. Like snow is just, everything gets crisp, and it's like it's a feeling. You can feel when it's about to snow. So yeah, you're right. Or I think I'm just gonna take your advice and start welding and buy and build my own. And you know what, Orlando? Sometimes that's what it takes, man. And you might have I want to say you might have a dud, but your first one is probably not gonna be your best one. Take that as a grain of salt, and learn, and go from there. Tim says, I've been away a while working on projects, restaurant consultant now since I sold my bar and grill. Did you or will you ever bottle your sauce and seasoning and sell it? No, Tim, I won't, because I use a combination of commercial things. So I don't, that's not my, like, Uncle Steve is out there selling shakes and seasonings. I did not get into barbecue to sell sauces and seasonings. That's just not where I want to be. That's not the space I want to be in. I'm trying to cater. I'm trying to cook food for folks. Now, can people do both? Yes. Do I want to do both? No. It's just my own personal, opinion. So, God, my feet are freezing still. I need to turn the heat up and put my feet on the radiator. I should have put shoes on before I went outside, but I didn't, being hard-headed. Will Tim says, cool. Yeah, I mean, like, I stay in my own lane. Know what I mean? My focus isn't trying to sell the side stuff. My focus is trying to sell the proteins, trying to sell the meats, trying to sell the barbecue, and trying to sell myself, basically. And that's the product I'm trying to sell. Now, if somebody came along and said, hey, I would love to partner with you, and I'm like, all right, well, I'll try the seasonings, and hey, if it works, hey, this is what we use on the ribs, on the brisket, on the chicken. You can get your own. Here's some available right there at that table right there, or from the same sales window. But nah, I'm not. I'm not into that per se. So, all right, guys. Unless you guys have anything else really, really pressing, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end it. I'm getting ready to get in the bed, get under the covers, and I'm gonna be hopefully I'm gonna be knocked out. That I just drank 16 ounces of coffee. I mean, I've been yawning like crazy. I should be able to go to sleep hopefully fairly quickly. But you never know, and especially how my brain works. I'm like, oh, I'm yawning like crazy when I'm sitting here. As soon as I go upstairs to go to bed, it's like, oh, you moved? You, oh, wow. Hey, look, second win. Here we are. So, yeah. All right, guys. Orlando says, all right, take care, Dash. Thanks for your advice. You're the best. Well, thank you very much. I try. I try. I mean, I just sometimes you kind of have to take a step back or two steps back and look at the situation from someone else's perspective. And there's a lot of times when just the change of perspective will it'll change everything up, and you're like, you know what? Maybe I was wrong. All right. So there is that. And look, guys, thank you so very much again, as always, for watching. I really do appreciate you hanging out with me, and putting up with me not putting out content on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'll get back to it. Don't worry, I will get back to it. I got some things I need to figure out here at my house, and then I can proceed, and we can go from there. Tim says, take care, get some rest. Yeah, I am. Ooh. Man, I'm about to crack my neck and like my shoulders and my knees and get all relaxed. And whew, Orlando, holy cow, man, thank you. But here's the thing: if you're gonna do a donation, man, say something. Make me say something silly, something funny, or just a shout out. But tag on, Orlando, I really appreciate it. Justin said it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. I knew where that was going. Have a good night. See you next week. Yes, sir. Hey, Jimmy says, good night, Dash, my friend. Hope you have a great weekend. Sir, yes, sir. Right back at you. Thank you so very much. Hey, Jimmy, I could possibly be coming down in that area. I had a guy hit me up about moving some amusement park or arcade cabinet-esque stuff down in that area. I can't remember where he was, but he's like, oh, how much would it cost me to take it to this place? And I'm like, it's like a 12-hour ride. And I'm like, all right, I gave him a number, and we'll see what he comes back with, whether or not he wants me to do this run or not. So anyway, if I do this run, I will let you know, and we will link up, Jimmy. That's what daggone sure. So thank you guys again. I'm gone. All right, enough talking from me. I'll see you.